Hello cat lovers, welcome to this week's Q&A. After Wednesday's suggestions, the overwhelming question we received was, what would cat's response be to competitors instantly cutting open cat suppressors, and how would we react? Therefore, this week's topic is suppressor innovation. Frankly speaking, the team behind Cat does expect that some competitors or close affiliates to them will do a cutaway of a cat suppressor shortly after launch, whether out of spite under the disguise of educating the market, or just morbid curiosity to advance their own products. This is expected in the U.S. suppressor industry. Cat is aware today of manufacturers that look over new suppressor patent and trademark applications, purely with the intent to advance their own products, where after multiple iterations they have been unable to find the answers they seek to remain competitive. The larger question is, should this be happening? If you're an early polarizing brand like Cat with a cheesy tongue-in-cheek approach to the industry, a part of the market will rejoice and think it's deserved. However, this is a short-sighted view and ultimately affects the civilian consumer the most. As well-known SOCOM supplier Surefire stated in its own history brief, while the laser technology that created Surefire has advanced 100-fold in the past 60 years, it took Surefire to advance suppressor technology, which was virtually unchanged for nearly a century. The original suppressor was the brainchild of Sir Hiram Stevens Maxim, the inventor of the first production recoil-operated machine gun. Maxim's basic design lasted for 93 years, before Surefire created its suppressor division in 2002 to redefine suppressor technology, materials, and construction. We didn't merely want to offer a new Surefire product, we wanted to advance the state of the art. Now this is either an overly confident statement or a reality of the market of the time. Looking at suppressor technology since the launch of Surefire's suppressor products, namely well-known models like RC2, has there been a significant lift in technology advancement in suppressor design in the last 20 years. In Cat's opinion, only small increments and more around materials than internal design, and this includes the RC2 model itself. The internal structures of most suppressors look eerily similar, and it's common to see many competitors not launch new products until after a competitor has launched some iteration not seen previously. This is the nature of industrial espionage, which is defined as an occasion when one company steals secrets from another company with which it is competing. If it's publicly launched, does this make the product fair game for deconstruction solely for self-interest? No. The intellectual property was created by someone else. You're giving yourself an artificial advantage you didn't have prior and not paying for this advantage. If you didn't create the concept, it's not yours to profit. Unless a manufacturer released the suppressor as open source, any manufacturing competitor who is using publicly released as a justification to copy or create a variation is involved in intellectual property theft and should be called out as such, as this is tantamount to cheating. True innovation happens via looking at a problem from a new angle, not refining an existing one. There is a structural difference between innovation, which is described as a new idea or method, or the use of new ideas and methods, and variation, which is described as something that is slightly different from the usual form or arrangement. When looking at current suppressor products by these definitions, most products look similar, some very similar. This is, by definition, a variation and not an innovation. Therefore, what purpose does it serve the civilian market to have manufacturers constantly refining an existing suppressor concept? Either Surefire was fundamentally right or wrong in its view of the industry in 2002. What purpose does it serve to have ODB surge bypass innovation in another manufacturer's product today, other than for a manufacturer's self-interest, or to retain market share because it's not their intellectual property in the first place? Although the knowledgeable civilian consumer is generally well educated and aware of the intellectual property similarity between products, the manufacturer is generally unashamed, and a part of the civilian market just doesn't care if the price is right. The U.S. suppressor market has an established cottage industry built around traditionally made baffle-style suppressors, constructed of materials that can be machined and welded with relative ease. The designs from the majority of these small manufacturers are variations of original design concepts that now just include differing multi-directional baffle wall structures, Is there anything wrong with this? In the opinion of CAT, no, but only if these manufacturers are not presenting themselves as industry innovators, which many unfortunately do. These manufacturers are simply filling a need in the market to have a traditionally styled suppressor with newer construction methods at a relative price. Does this mean that a small manufacturer is incapable of making a new innovation leap? Well, it depends whether they look at the problem of firearm suppression from a point of view that is structurally different to the way the industry looks at it at that moment in time. Unless the civilian user starts to uphold the notion that innovation should be defended and supported above variation, the suppressor industry will continue to grow in small increments. It is not personalities or brands that civilian users should support, it should be product advancement. Sections of the market seem very concerned by CAT's marketing currently, but seem very unconcerned by the lack of industry production standards, of singular standard testing by manufacturers themselves, uphold industry marketing spin such as full auto rating, or supporting retailers that continue to sell products from brands with known manufacturing issues. These are examples of where the civilian market loses sight of what is important, and that is embracing innovation from product creation to retail. A suppressor with certain dimensions and baffle technology reaches a technical floor. The only way a suppressor evolves is not to use baffles any longer. Not to understand this is, again, the difference between innovation and variation. Therefore, CAT does not care whether a competitor or individual releases a cutaway of a CAT suppressor, not in the slightest. To see the inner workings of a suppressor doesn't assist anyone, it simply handicaps the entire industry because it stops innovation and continues variation. Not seeing how something works, but knowing that it works, should drive an insane want to innovate based around new science, not instead drive a need to satisfy self-interest. This is why CAT will never provide cutaways, will not answer or discuss CAT surge bypass, dynamic vortex, biangular transition, or geometric turbulence technologies, as this knowledge serves no purpose if the suppressors meet civilian expectations, as it should not be ever the why or how, but the accomplishment itself. This position is not because CAT doesn't care about civilians' interest in CAT products, actually 100% the opposite. It cares deeply about civilians getting better products. The concept of innovate or die cannot be truer in the suppressor industry. Innovation is defined as an idea. It implies research, analysis, creativity, learning, and continuous improvement, a new perspective on how to look at a problem. So, the team behind CAT is uninterested in competitor products. It wishes all manufacturers the absolute best, truly supports their innovation and creativity. The success of these CAT competitors will drive CAT to constantly innovate, not instead cause CAT to make a variant of competitors' product, as this stifles CAT and simply adds another company to a list of copycats.